I am sitting in a very long Starbucks line because I didn't wear shoes and I'm driving barefoot because I just wanted to run through the drive-thru before I finished getting ready. Bam! Do I absolutely need a chai this morning? Of course I don't. But it's January and I'm trying to do one little thing every day to treat myself because mental health and taking care of myself. I'm especially happy this morning because I stepped outside and I was like, yay, it's raining! And then I remembered what LA people do when driving in the rain and remembered I have to drive to work this morning and thought, oh crap, it's raining. So, since my treat of the day is currently has us at a little bit of a standstill. Look, movement. Whee! I turned into a drive-thru. This is probably a lesson that I should have worn shoes today. I'm not gonna learn anything from it though, because I like being barefoot. Anyway, I figured this would be a great time to take advantage of the fact that I'm at a standstill and make a video. Today I actually want to talk about adult coloring. It's something I've talked about a little bit in a previous video, but I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit more in depth and how it's good for your mental health and relaxation. I have a friend who I love dearly, but kind of the douchiest thing, love her, but she had said, I don't get adult coloring, and I guess that's probably because I have other creative outlets. And that just drove me nuts, because first of all, you're suggesting that anyone who is an adult who wants to color has no other creative outlet, which, as someone who draws, crafts, sings, writes, and a myriad of other things, I'm like, fuck you, I like to color. But also, deciding that you're above something simply because you don't understand it is a huge problem in this country for so many things, for things that are far more harmful than not understanding adult coloring. I hope she doesn't think that I think any ill of her for this example, because she was we had to talk about it and she was like, oh, okay, I get it. But I felt like this was an important, really kind of harmless example to use. For instance, if any of you are familiar with the state of mental health in America, a lot of times we just dismiss people as crazy because we don't understand what they're going through. And when you just dismiss someone as crazy, there's no help for them because you've just already written them off. And the really important thing to remember is you nor anyone else is just crazy. There is no, well, you're beyond help. There is no, well, you have something we don't understand, so we're not going to try to understand it. No, that's not how this works. And what really frustrates me is if this person had just done a Google search or done maybe a little bit of research about adult coloring, which is a really small and weirdly harmless thing that, again, I realize this is not the most important issue in the world, but I feel like it's indicative of a bigger problem. And if a little bit of research had been done about it, she would have known about a lot of the amazing mental health benefits of adult coloring, including its meditative properties. I just ordered and now everything is wet and it makes me kind of happy. And it's not a new practice. At the turn of the last century, the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, Carl Jung, actually had his patients color in mandalas, or how do you pronounce mandalas? It's one of those words that I've only read. I did hear a character in Sailor Moon say it, but she said mandala, and I'm not sure if that's correct. And the reason that Jung did this was because he found that it allowed his patients to focus and their subconscious sort of just let go. Feel free, by the way, if I mispronounce something, feel free to correct me in the comments. I am totally up for learning new things. I acknowledge I don't know everything, by far, but I'm always willing to learn more. One thing I will say is the Curiosities were really good about correcting people in a way that's not like, well, actually, I'm going to tell you how stupid you are, because you guys are just so awesome. I love you so much. Like, every time I see other YouTube communities, I'm so proud of, like, we're small, but we're plucky, and we're really, really kind to each other, and that just makes me really happy. Young's practice was probably seen as a little bit odd at the time, but today, adult coloring is seen to have a ton of stress-busting benefits. And unlike a lot of other kinds of art therapy, where, say, you're making something completely from scratch, you're less likely to judge it. When you color something, there is shape, size, and you have to decide the color, and there's a lot of planning that goes into it usually. This seemingly simple process takes up the part of the brain that's usually stressing about, how am I going to do this? What if this happens? Da, 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 da. It takes up that whole same part of your brain center that's freaking out and causes anxiety. It also helps you replace negative thoughts and images with pleasant ones. They say for good mental health, you should try to meditate for, I think, about 20 minutes a day. Now, if you're anything like me, meditating is really hard. Personally, whenever I try to meditate, my brain will let go of my subconscious, but then my subconscious will go, oh my gosh, I figured out a problem to that thing we were thinking about, whether it was a plot hole in a story I'm writing, or a way to figure out how to film something, or whatever. It's usually related to a creative project, and while that's awesome, I can't continue meditating. I have to get up and attend to it right then and write it down or whatnot, and that's not really super beneficial to the sort of relaxation that I need for meditation. So I actually try and color for 20 minutes a day. For some reason, it doesn't have the same problem that I have with normal meditation. I'm able to focus. I feel like I'm contributing to something, so my brain isn't freaking out about like, oh my God, you should be doing something right now. If I really want to, I can do it while I'm watching Netflix in the background. This is something that I can accomplish with other people in the room, which for me is really big because I live with my partner and 2 other people. So I like to be around that. That energy usually helps me. I don't want to go seclude myself. I mean, 20 minutes a day, whatever, but I don't tend to like to seclude myself. I like when all 4 of us decide we're going to just color in coloring books for like an hour together. That to me is amazing. So with your brand new knowledge about coloring, color on and stay curious.